A dessert that my mom used to cook was bread pudding. And today we're going to do my bread pudding, but with a tropical twist, because I learned how to do it in Bermuda, of all places. For this, you're going to need at least 3 special ingredients. 1 would be my black rum, 2, tropical as well as traditional fruit cocktail, and of course the star of the show, Philadelphia cream cheese. Let's get started. Okay, so we've got 6 eggs in a bowl. We're going to whip up the eggs. To that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar. Just want to whip that in. 2 cups of 1/2 and 1/2. 1 cup of heavy cream. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I've got 4 tablespoons of cinnamon, just dumping it in, and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So now that we have this blended, we will need to go ahead and add the bread. And we want to make sure the bread gets soaked with it. And what I have here is 8 to 10, maybe 12 slices of sweet bread. I'm using French brioche, but you can also use sweet Portuguese bread or any other kind of bread. And in fact, if you want to, instead of a 1/2 cup of sugar, you could increase to 1 cup of sugar and use basic wheat or white bread. Yep. Gonna mix this all up. The key here is to make sure the bread gets nice and soaked. You don't want anybody biting into any dry bread. The first thing you want to do when you're preparing the bread pudding is take a 1/4 cup of the black rum and infuse 2 cups of raisins with it. I've already done that. This is intoxicating, but it will be good. The heat from the stove will burn out a lot of the alcohol, but right now it smells. Whew. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to take all of these and put them into the bread pudding. Taking a 1/2 cup of crushed walnuts. I just beat them down, took out all the stress of the day on the walnuts, you know. I like to put them in a bag, step on them on the floor, make a little noise, and break them up. So they're in now. I went back again and made sure that the butter covered all of the sides so that the dish doesn't stick. Now I'm ready to add my fruit cocktail. It does not go into all of the cake. First thing you want to do is actually put it into the bottom. So I'm just going to take a few pieces and drop them in. Now that buzz you're hearing in the background is not me grinding my teeth. Rather, it is a lawnmower. People do have to have their lawns mowed, and my windows are open to get in some of this fresh 70-degree Stone Mountain weather, so bear with us. You see? Now we're going to put our dough in. Let me get some more in here. That looks good. Okay. So, I've buttered a sheet of foil here. The reason for that is to ensure that the bread pudding browns on the top just as it will on the bottom. I'm going to cover it up, stick it in the oven for 35 minutes. Okay, now we're ready to prepare our hot butter rum cream sauce while the bread pudding is baking. I've got my 3rd egg going into the blender along with 2 sticks of softened butter. So let's just get that in there. I'm wearing an apron today because stuff is jumpy. I don't want the stuff on my blouse. 1.5 cups of sugar. Oh, love a spill. 2 teaspoons of rum, and you don't want any more than that, I can assure you. Unfortunately, it would ruin the taste. So if you like rum, get yourself a tumbler. And the star of the show, Philadelphia cream cheese. In this case, I'm using whipped cream cheese because it's lighter and it will really give our buttercream a very nice texture. So, and I'm using about 6 ounces, which makes this meal really, really creamy. Wouldn't you say? Girls, you know, Beyonce says, if you like it, put a ring on it. Well, I loved my husband when I saw him first sight, and I put some food on him. All right, the bread pudding is out of the oven. It cooked for about 35 minutes, baked for 35 minutes. And if I'm lucky, great. See, so buttering the pan helped tremendously. And you can see my tropical fruit. And I'm going to turn this over and pour some of the buttercream on it. And I'm gonna let it go this way. And the guests can decide how much they want on it because I'll serve these little pitchers with it. And I want to garnish it with a cherry. Now that's what I call a tropical twist bread pudding featuring a hot rum buttercream sauce with none other than Philadelphia whipped cream cheese. Paula, I really hope you pick me this time. And even if you don't, you must try this recipe. Ladies, it is decadent. For the Real Women of Philadelphia, I'm Cornelia Hicks.